Good evening, UTLA community. Thank you, educators, parents, grandparents, and community members. Thank you for being here in our virtual space. Tonight, we'll be sharing results of the UTLA member vote on a safe physical return to schools, and we have LAUSD parents Lois Tryk and Alicia Baltazar with us to talk about their concerns for a safe return. Alicia is a member of Reclaim Our Schools Los Angeles and is involved in the analysis of the biased reporting at the LA Times on the school reopening debate. Lois is a parent at Myart-Cruz Elementary School and a member of the huge Facebook community Parents Supporting Teachers. First up are the results of our union-wide UTLA member vote. Voting was conducted over 5 days by an outside company, Integrity Voting Systems, and closed at 5 p.m. tonight. Out of 24,580 ballots cast, 91% were yes and 9% were no. That's powerful. UTLA members have voted overwhelmingly to resist a premature and unsafe physical return to school sites. Today's result is a testament to our 3 demands for a safe and healthy return. 1, LA County must be out of the purple tier. 2, staff must either fully be vaccinated or provided access to full vaccination. And 3, safety conditions must be in place at our schools, including PPE, physical distancing, improved ventilation, and daily cleaning. I want to acknowledge every member who voted, whether you voted yes or no. The big voter turnout reinforces that we are stronger together. The results of this vote says that our educators are overwhelmingly in support of a safe return. We as educators are prioritizing the health and well-being of our students and their families. We as UTLA continue to stand up with our communities to ensure that safety measures are put into place. This vote signals that members are prepared to refuse to accept an unsafe work assignment, but will instead remain committed to distance learning until the 3 safety criteria are met. With COVID vaccines for school staff rolling out and infection rates decreasing, LA County is making progress toward the necessary conditions for a safe return. While we have not arrived, we continue to take steps forward. Infection rates remain high in many of the already hard-hit communities that we serve. Our goal is to create as much stability and consistency for our students. No one wants to open only to have to close again, which is a realistic possibility if safety measures are not put into place first. No one could have anticipated a year ago that we would be where we are today. We have endured the painful separation from students, colleagues, and loved ones. It has been difficult and painful. Through it all, we continue to persevere and find new ways of connecting and building community. We remain resilient and hopeful that we will get through these tough times together. Educators have not been on vacation. You have worked overtime to recreate your lessons and meaningful ways for students to engage in virtual learning spaces. You all have taken your classrooms to the next level. Learning is happening. To the parents, grandparents, and guardians, you have played an integral role in supporting learning at home. We educators value your partnership. It takes a village, and we will continue to work together. Again, we long to be back in the classroom with our students, but only when it is safe. UTLA folks, look for an all-member email tonight with these vote results and some updates on bargaining with LAUSD, vaccinations, and other issues. And before I introduce the amazing LAUSD parents who are with us, I want to mention that UTLA is having a tele-town hall for parents and the community next Saturday, March 13th. We'll share more details next week with chapter leaders so that you can invite parents from your school community. Okay, now, let me introduce Lois Tryk, a parent at Myart-Cruz Elementary School in Silver Lake. Thank you, Lois.
Thank you, Cecily. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much for all you're doing and UTLA to support the students. It's great work, and we really need it right now. The first thing I wanted to say is it's kind of shocking to me to imagine that the schools would be open without implementing these three things. You know, to reiterate, getting us past the purple tier in LA County, letting staff get fully vaccinated and have access to vaccines, new safety conditions, including daily cleaning, PPE, and physical distancing measures, all of which will take some time to put in place. I don't see how someone could consider reopening the schools without these things. And these are the same kinds of measures we're seeing in retail spaces. It's not that they are impossible to do, but without them, we run the risk of hurting people and letting this virus continue to mess up our lives. So we finally made some progress, and it just doesn't make any sense that we would put that all at risk. And I also wanted to say, oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm a parent of two kids. My name is Lois Tryk. I have a son at Myart-Cruz Elementary and also a son at Irving STEAM Middle School. And he will be at Marshall next year. So I'm going to be very familiar with many LAUSD schools. But I was just thinking, what are the costs of opening our schools too soon versus the costs of giving ourselves a little more time and space for safety? Well, at very best, we gain a couple of months for the remainder of the year in a classroom. And I'm not sure that that's even something that would benefit the kids at this point who have adapted so well. I mean, we're so far into the school year to now ask them to learn an entirely new system, which will not look at all like school they used to go to. It's actually going to be incredibly different and probably stressful and destabilizing. But we can imagine that some people will spread the virus. That could lead to a death. It could lead to more than one. So how many injured, sick, deceased humans would make this worthwhile to give us a couple extra months? I would like to think that zero. I'm pretty sure we could finish off the year with this online course that we've been really getting much better at, instead of risking it all to get our economy moving again. So uh, I don't think it's a very good sign that we are trying to quantify loss of life or uh, illness to make a decision about something that I think is basically based in money and political pressure. So I I also wanted to say, and Alicia will speak about this shortly, but there is um, a kind of a message coming out through the media that somehow this push to speed the opening of schools is coming from parents. Um, that's what I've seen in the news. And I find it surprising because I know a lot of parents, and I don't believe any one of them is in that group and wants that. Um, we all want our schools back open. As far as I can tell, all the teachers want that because an online situation is not ideal, but the alternative is much worse. Um, and we're really getting there. We're getting so close to being able to resume with some kind of normalcy, but we're so not there yet. Um, and from what I can tell you about the parents that I speak to regularly, we will send our kids to school when the teachers say it's safe because we know them, we trust them. That's always what they've done. And it's not about the teachers protecting their own safety and their own selves, although if they were and if they are, that's totally acceptable because they should. Um, but there's no way you're going to ask teachers who care about a room full of kids to put them in any kind of risky situation. That's contrary to what teachers do. And the idea that somehow teachers are fighting the opening of schools is really unfair. And I don't think it's at all accurate. I think that's something that the people who are pushing uh, getting the schools reopened for the purpose of getting the economy moving a little more quickly, I think that's a message they're producing. And I think it's really important that we just don't accept that. I just don't think it's true. Um, Again, the parents that I know, they want their kids back in school so badly, all of them. But not without these kinds of measures, which again, you can find these at a restaurant down the street, that people are doing these things already. It's really important. It's not just because kids can get hurt, which is really enough reason alone, but those kids have families and those families have jobs, etc. And it's going to move this whole system back again, which is what we're trying not to do. So um, I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to say. As a parent, I will wholeheartedly send my adorable kids that I love hanging out with every day, but maybe not every day 24/7, back to school to be with their peers and to have a human teacher. We all miss it so much. I really can't tell you. I am all for it, but I'm not doing it until someone I trust can tell me it's safe for everybody, not just my kid, but for all the kids. So if this is something that is so absolutely urgent that we have to get the schools open immediately, then somebody needs to make sure that these three things happen immediately. And it's going to take some organization and some money, but I can't imagine attempting this without getting us out of the purple tier, number one, uh, getting the teachers vaccinated, the staff, and facilitating that. and the safety conditions, which, you know, physical distance, a new cleaning regimen, uh, better ventilation, all of these things that we're familiar with, the PPE. Uh, if it's really so crucial that we get the schools open, then these things have to be provided. It's unconscionable that they would consider anything else. So that's what I wanted to say. And with that, I would like to send it back to Cecily.
Thank you, Lois, for your words this evening. We appreciate your time, especially your time away from your family. So thank you for coming here and giving us a few minutes of your time. So now we're going to go to Alicia. Alicia is an LAUSD parent in Wilmington and a member of Reclaim Our Schools LA. Alicia?
Thank you, Cecily, and thank you guys for having me here today. And again, like she said, my name is Alicia Baltazar, and I am a proud parent of a fifth grader who is attending Freeze Avenue STEAM Academy in Wilmington, heart of the harbor. And I am a member of Reclaim Our Schools Los Angeles. And I am just so thankful to be here today to have an opportunity to thank the teachers for the awesome job that they are doing. I see every day how hard they are working, how stressed they are, and more unfortunately, I see how much the media is attacking them. So I was one of the members that went to Reclaim Our Schools, and I asked them to look into these things that the media is saying about our teachers and about our parents, because they've been writing stories about that it's parents versus teachers, that we're the ones demanding schools open, that you guys are withholding education from students, and that could not be the furthest from the truth. And those parents like myself and other Reclaim Our Schools LA members have been working hand in hand with these teachers to keep our schools closed and to only open them when it is safe to do so. And to us, what does that look like? That looks like proper PPE for our teachers and our students. It looks like proper HVAC systems. It looks like more nurses and janitors so that it can achieve the proper sanitation that we need. And it looks like fully funding our schools. So until those things happen, we don't feel safe sending our schools back, our children back to schools. The LA Times has been portraying these white wealthy families that have been out there saying that they want our kids back in schools, that it's dangerous for our children at home. And to that I say shame on them, because that's not the truth at all. Our teachers have been working really hard and they've been very successful. You know, they've been saying that our children are experiencing learning losses, and I don't agree with that at all. Okay, so our children are not learning what do you think they should be learning right now? But they are making leaps and bounds when it comes to technology and to the things that they are learning social ways right now. Like for instance, they're learning how to budget as they're seeing their families go through budget, through financial situations at home due to job losses and things like that. They're learning survival by going with their parents to these grab and goes. They're learning how to make things matter, and they're learning more than anything just how important family is this year. So for them to say that our kids are experiencing learning loss, I don't agree with that at all. And the loss that our children are experiencing, I know that our teachers are amazing and I've seen what they can do, and they can bring our children up to par when they get the proper funding and they get the proper organizations together to give the proper classes to our children that they're going to need when they come back from this. So again, I just want to be able to tell our teachers thank you for the amazing job that they are doing. I know that it's been really hard for them to vote, whether they voted yes or no. I'm very proud of them for voting and for being part of a union that sticks up for parents and students and parents like myself. So thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Alicia and Lois, for being with us today. The trust and respect that flows both ways between educators and parents is so powerful. We face pressure on many sides as we engage in conversations on how to return safely to school campuses. We will continue to put our students and public education first. In order to have a safe return, there is an urgent need for additional school funding in order to ensure all safety measures are met. We will make certain that all students have access to a quality education and that there are sufficient resources to meet their social, emotional, and mental health needs in an equitable manner. As a leader, I feel a responsibility to lift up the voices of those who are often overshadowed, dismissed, and marginalized. I recognize that our actions and intentions as educators have recently been taken out of context. The pandemic has caused stress, anxiety, and fear. But now is not the time to turn on one another. As educators and parents, we set the example for our youth of what it looks like to work through difficulties in order to create meaningful solutions that serve all of us, which includes our most marginalized community members. UTLA family, parents, guardians, educators, students, and community, now is the time for us to work together to prioritize safety, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It should be all of our responsibility as a community to serve one another with compassion, with patience, and kindness. Take care of yourselves this weekend. Rest, rejuvenate, and cherish your time with loved ones. Until next time, stay UTLA strong, because together we rise.